here. There's no school tomorrow, so that's a good thing. So today we have a really, really awesome special day planned for Impact. If you are new, my name is Rachel, and tonight we're going to tell you about what's going on. But before we do that, I have a couple announcements. You guys just watched the video for baptism, and I know there were a lot of you in this room who last week were baptized. We actually had 63 high school and middle school students get baptized last week, which is amazing. So if you were baptized, I want to just ask for you to stand right where you're at. If you were baptized last week, there were a lot of you. Yeah. Guys, we are so proud of you. Last week, you can sit down, but last week was seriously like my favorite day ever, and I'm just so proud of you guys. You will be getting your video and photos shortly. We're working on getting those to you soon, but there's a lot to go through, so we're getting those to you. Also, we have some other things coming up. So, well, first off, I just gotta tell you guys, love happens at Impact, okay? Love and marriage. We had a marriage last night between Bob and Chrissy, two of our high school small group leaders that met. Oh, look at that. They met at Impact, serving the Lord, and it's amazing. But they left a bunch of food for us to eat, so they're on their honeymoon. Don't text them now. Actually do. That would be really funny. Everybody text Bob and Chrissy right now. They're on their honeymoon. And let them know that we love them. But yeah, that was a really fun thing to celebrate. I'm just letting you know, it could happen. You could meet your future spouse in this room. This is actually the second Impact marriage that's happened. All right, so also next Sunday, we have something called, actually next Saturday, something called the Refugee Run. A lot of you guys have already signed up for this, but this is coming up next Saturday at 8 a.m. If you are a runner or walker, or if you wanna just sit and eat a donut and pay to do this, to give money to Exodus Ministries, or what's your official? Not Ministries, World Service. If you want to give your money to Exodus World Service, which after tonight you probably will want to, this is for you. So that's coming up. You can even raise money for that and be a part of it. Register at willownorthshore.org. All right. Also, guys, we have a men's day planned for you, okay? So, coming up on September 14th, it's just in a couple of weeks, all right, we're gonna go support our Northwestern guys football team, and a couple of them serve in Impact, so we're gonna go celebrate them and cheer them on. That's at 2:30 p.m. Ladies, if we just wanna show up, I mean, we could maybe, no, we can have our own seat, okay? But guys, this is for you. We're gonna tailgate. We're gonna have a ton of fun. That's gonna be like a full day-long thing. Invite your friends. If you like sports, even if you don't, it's just gonna be an awesome time to hang out. So that is coming up. And then finally, I wanna invite up a friend. So this is Sue, everybody. Give a round of applause for Sue.
Thanks for having me here tonight.
So she's here tonight to help us walk through a really amazing experience, and Melissa is also here. You're gonna meet her a little bit later, but we wanted to start tonight by giving you just a vision for what tonight's gonna look like and why we are doing this experience tonight. And I had the opportunity to go through this morning, and it was honestly just, I wasn't expecting for it to be, like I was like, oh, this will be really cool, I'll learn some things, but I really had a moment at the end when we were debriefing where I just was thinking about what it would be like to be someone who's gone through this experience. And we know there are so many people in our world who are refugees, who have been really forced out of their homeland and really have no option. And so tonight we're going to talk about what is this experience like, and what can we, as people who say that we believe in Jesus, who claim that he is the light of the world, what can we do to make a difference and to add to the narrative? So I just wanted to start by asking you, what's your role in Exodus, and why did you get involved?
Good question. So I've been involved with Exodus for 15 to 20 years. It's been a long time. I started out as a volunteer because I wanted to volunteer. People volunteer for all kinds of reasons, right? Because your parents make you, because you have service learning hours for school, because you have a passion to help a certain group of people. I wanted to volunteer because I had little kids at the time, and we wanted to do something as a family. And we found that the programs at Exodus was conducive to that. We could, as a family, meet another refugee family that also had little kids, and we get to know each other, and we could help them acclimate into this new culture that they were in. From the very first day they arrived until being friends with them for many years.
That's awesome.
And now I'm on staff, but only for the past 5 years. But I became so passionate about refugees, I now work for the organization, which wasn't ever in the plan, it just happened that way.
It's funny how that happens.
Yeah. God has a plan.
Yeah. So tell us what, why? Why is this ministry needed? Why do you guys exist?
We exist because we mobilize the church, which means we equip Christians like you guys. Willow North Shore is a strong partner of ours. You might not know that because we deal a lot with adult ministries. I am so happy to be here tonight and to engage with the youth group because it's something that we haven't done, but we have worked with the rest of your congregation for over 20 years. So they know about us. So I'm so glad that now you guys have an opportunity to serve, because you're at a point in your life to make those decisions and to become passionate about something and to learn about something that might be unfamiliar to you, and really help the community as a whole grow and learn about who refugees are. We're going to do that a lot tonight, so I don't want to give too much away. But refugees are people who need friends, and we can be the hands and feet of Christ and welcome them into our communities.
Awesome. So, where is Exodus located, and where primarily do you work with those who are entering our country? And
That's a great question. Our office is in Park Ridge. It's just an office. There's nothing there because we come into churches. My job is to go to as many churches as I can and tell as many people as I can about refugees and educate them so that they can go out and serve. So our office is just office work. The refugees that you can meet almost all live in Rogers Park, which is in Chicago, but it's on the north side. It's 25 minutes from here, you guys. It is so close.
It's right by Evanston, right?
It bumps right up next to Evanston, where you're going to go see Northwestern game in a couple weeks.
Yeah. So a couple years ago, I had an opportunity to meet with a family and provide they had just gotten to the country, and it was actually a couple of men who had just come into the country, and we provided them with a pack of supplies that our small group had raised money for and brought, and that was one of the most impactful experiences for me, just to even meet these guys and hear some of their story, hear what they had been through to even get to the country, to be accepted to be here, and just the insane amount of challenges that they went through. So I am so excited. Today we're going to have an opportunity to actually put on the shoes of someone who's in this situation. And could you tell us, how many refugees are in the world currently?
Today, there are 26 26.9 refugees in the world today.
Million.
20, what did I
26.9. That's a very
No, let's just say there are 26 million refugees in the world today. We are actually, and you're gonna hear this repeated, but it's worthy of being repeated. We are in the world's worst humanitarian crisis. 6 months ago, I could say that we are in the world's worst humanitarian crisis since World War II. The numbers today surpass that. 44,000 people a day are becoming refugees. And let me tell you, refugees are innocent people who haven't done anything wrong, but they're having to flee their home because of what's going on. And that's where I'm going to stop with that, because you'll learn about it later.
So I think that's really important to remember. You guys, we read about World War II all the time. We study it. We know the horrific things that happened then. But the truth is, you guys are living in a time where the same things are happening. And the same horrors are happening to humans who are innocent. And so, just like we think, why didn't the Christians do anything then? Where were they at? Why were they silent? We are not, though, we don't want to, that is not our narrative, so that's why we want to be a part of this. We want to be a part of changing it. And God's calling us to. And I wanted to just read a scripture over you, just to get you in the mindset of why we're talking about this. There's a scripture in Isaiah where God's talking to his people, and it's Isaiah 1, and he says this to them. There's this group of people who Israel at the time has become really content. They're wealthy, they're living in a culture that's easy, and there's these people who are professing their faith in God, who are not, who are taking advantage of their neighbors, who aren't looking out for the poor, who aren't caring about their own people, and this is what God says directly to them. He says, "The multitude of your sacrifices, what are they to me? I have had more than enough burnt offerings of rams and the fat of fattened animals. I have no pleasure in the blood of bulls and lambs. When you come to appear before me, who has asked this of you and the trampling of my courts?" Basically, he says, you come to worship me, and you sing these songs to me, you offer these sacrifices to me, but I want nothing to do with them. I can't bear your worthless assemblies. That's what he says to these believers. He says, I hate it with all of my being. And the reason is because he says this later on. He says, here's what I want you to do. Wash and make yourselves clean. Take your evil deeds out of my sight. Stop doing wrong. Learn to do right and seek justice. Defend the oppressed. Take up the cause of the fatherless. Plead the cause of the widow. And then at the end he says, and then I will hear your worship. And then I will receive what you have for me. And so I read that passage, and I just read through it like this past week, and it was just so convicting to me, because I think that's the American church, right? Like, we have a really pretty content living situation. If you guys live here, you're in the top 1% of wealthiest people in the world. And it's easy to come in on a Sunday and worship and forget what's happening to our neighbors 25 minutes away. And I think that's why God calls us to be a part of this. And you are not too young to change the narrative. And I think that the more we can open our eyes to what is happening in our world and be a part of changing it, the more we're doing what God is calling us to. We're not just called to come here and worship on a Sunday. We're called to be a light in the world. And so that's a part of what this looks like. So with that, what are we going to do tonight? How are you going to split up? I mean, I know how we're going to split up, but anything you want to tell us?
Just one question before we do that. Are they already in groups, or do we need?
We need to split.
Okay. So we'll need to split.
I'll figure out. I'll let them know what room they're going to go.
Okay. Tonight, we are going to participate in the Refugee Journey Run for Your Life simulation. You will, on a very small level, experience what refugees go through from the time they have to leave their home until they reach a safer place and have to make decisions. We are going to split up so that you can have the best possible experience with not so many people. So half of us will remain in this room. The other half of us will start out in a different room. And after we do the split, we will go through it. Melissa and I will work with each group and go through what it's all about, the expectations for the night, what's going to be happening, the tone that we're going to have. Just like right now, you guys are being so respectful and quiet, and I appreciate that. We want that throughout the entire evening because we want everybody to have a really, really good understanding of the refugee journey when we're done today. And so we want to open your hearts and really contemplate and be able to reflect on the experience afterwards. And the only way we're going to be able to do that is if we work together, because there's so many people, to really keep no talking unless you're given instructions. And there's going to be a lot of instructions tonight. You're going to be able to put yourself in a position that might be a little bit uncomfortable for you. You might have to go outside of your box. Everybody is going to actually take on a different persona. You won't be the person you are right now, kind of like a dramatization. So with that said, let's split up.
Okay, awesome. So here's how we're gonna do this. Freshmen and seniors, you guys are gonna stay in this room. And sophomores and juniors, you are gonna go with Ken to the 4th and 5th grade room.
Like Sue mentioned, my name is Melissa. I'm a volunteer with Exodus, and I'll be helping you with this experience. So if everyone can take their own seat and pay attention, because this is going to be some of the foundation so that the rest of the evening you understand what's going on. So kind of the start. Who knows what a refugee is? Somebody give out an answer.
Somebody who has been forced to leave their country.
Exactly. So, by definition, a refugee is a person who's been forced to leave his or her homeland and is unable to return because she or he has experienced persecution or has a well-founded fear of persecution. Persecution can be related to race, nationality, religion, political opinions, or membership in a particular social group. So this isn't just somebody who wants to move to a different country. It is literally because they are being persecuted, and there is usually war and something else going on in their country. A lot of times their home has been destroyed, and it is not safe for them to be in their home anymore. So today, we're kind of gonna play a game so that you can start to understand a little bit of the journey of refugees. I say a game, but it's not really fun. It's really not a time to make jokes or make fun of somebody who might be in this situation. It's really a time to kind of see what somebody else has gone through. And it can even bring up some emotions that may hit you on a personal level, and you know, it's okay if you're taken aback by something that you see tonight. There'll be time to internalize these things and talk within your small groups at the end as well. So with that being said, also try to keep talking to a minimum, because there will be time for a lot of discussion at the end. Throughout the activity, you'll travel to 5 stations, and I'll be giving you instructions as we go and guiding you through the process. Please remember to listen carefully as we go through the whole evening. There'll also be several volunteers. So there'll be people that you might know from the congregation that, you know, is typically your friend's mom or dad, or, you know, your small group leader, but tonight they're really acting as a smuggler or a board guarder or a harbor master. So everybody's in a different role, including yourselves. So in just a little bit here, we'll all be taking on a new role as well. So, you know, right now you're all freshmen or seniors in high school, but really depending on the group that you're placed in, you might be your grandmother or something like that. So just remember that it's all kind of an acting situation to some extent as well. At times you might feel like nothing's being said or we're waiting for something to happen, but that's okay, that's normal. Refugees wait a lot. They are often moved to one place and then they have to sit and wait and maybe don't know what the next step is going to come. But eventually you'll experience what the next part of the game is. So right now I'm going to have everybody break up into a group of 5. So go ahead and gather around, just around a couple of people that you're close to in a group of 5, and I'm going to start handing out a couple of pieces of paper.
You can like circle up your chair. Is that okay? We have a wall of
Okay. Yeah. You guys are group of 6? That's okay.
No, we got 5. We got 5. Yes, freshman.
So everybody start deciding who's going to be who on that list. You guys are 2 groups, correct? Okay. So one group decide on who you guys want to be, and then the other group decide who you guys want to be. I'll bring some pens out too. So you guys can come decide. I'll grab a couple of pens. Here's a pen for you guys. Yeah. Here's the family. So everybody pick somebody who's going to be here. Name next to it. Here's a group here. So go ahead and decide. Write your name down next to which person you're going to be. Write your name down. If there's not enough lines, just add in more lines. Okay, go ahead and write your name down next to your identity. Does every group have a sheet and a pen? All right. So everybody, you can keep writing down your names, but listen up to these next couple of things. So this will be your new identity. The person with the age and the description will be who you are pretending to be for the evening. Please take several minutes to read the bio and see who your family is and get to know a little bit about them, because a lot of times that describes similar groups of people that are traveling together as well. Now I'm also going to be passing out a group, some envelopes, and there is some cards in the envelopes. And I want everybody to take 10 items out of the envelope to bring with you. And there's also an envelope of money. So maybe assign somebody to handle the money for the evening. And then you guys can split up the items from the envelopes. And you should count out 10 of the cards. And those things you'll be bringing with you. Please leave the rest in the envelope, just on your chair in here. I'm going to need everybody to please take your shoes off. So go ahead and take your shoes off as you continue to pick your items. You'll leave your shoes here as we walk around the building and get them at the end. A terrible event that your life is now in danger. You're forced to leave your home, and there'll be a truck arriving soon. Yeah. The bombs are going off. You must decide which items you need to take with you. And the trucks will be here soon.